And so it begins. We're going to lose some plants. At the end of the day, the poor guy's on his own. I'm sure that invalidates his insurance. Chainsaw hanging up a tree. Never mind, it's his job, it's his thing. But as a consequence, the branches are just getting thrown down, and they're going to go onto the gravel beds. So, you know, I've asked him to be careful. I've asked him to stay to the paths if he can. He said he'll do what he can, but at the end of the day, you know, when you're throwing branches down, you can only aim them. Where they actually land is not necessarily planned. But oh well, it's underway. So he hasn't got up to the big branches yet, but I hope too much doesn't go next door, I must admit. He's getting tangled up in the wisteria bits that got left up there because I couldn't reach. Oh well, they're coming down now. So he's just having to just drop them down, and then when he's got a huge pile there, he said he'll make his way round to the front. But it's underway. So he said all the branches have got to come off, and then he's got to sort of start at the top and come down in sections small enough that he can lift. Although he said that the pieces will be very light because it's dead. So, you know, there's no moisture being sucked up the tree because it's dead. So it should be quite light. Oh well, he's at it. So it'll all be gone by the end of the day. Good stuff. I hope he doesn't get wet out there. Supposed possibility of light showers this morning, but then sort of blowing clear later in the day. So I wouldn't fancy that job, I must admit. Anyway, I'll come back when he's higher up the tree doing his monkey impression. As he gets higher up the tree, the pile on the ground gets higher following him up. He's just dropping it all down on the decking and on the garden. He hasn't really got much choice, but he's doing it in sort of stages. So it's coming down, and now he's got a nice drop of sunshine. So he's getting there. Obviously when he gets to that big knot area, that's the hard work then, because that's where the thickest branches are. That one that goes off towards the back, and then the bigger ones all gathered together in the same place. And then it'll be onto the thin branches and getting to the top. But these big branches coming down now are, you know, I hope they don't do any damage, but it's as it is. It's got to be done. And hopefully he'll clear up his mess, and then Hannah and I can get out there and sort out where we are with the rest of it. But yeah, all good stuff. Well, I'm glad I haven't got to clear it up. I don't know how he thinks he's going to get down the trunk, because he's dropping all the branches at the base of the trunk. So he's got a nice cushion now, because he was worried about the decking being damaged. But now he's got a blanket of branches effectively. It doesn't matter what goes now, because it'll just bounce on those branches. But yeah, he's getting on with it. You know how high up he is now. I haven't looked recently. Oh, he's up in the top now, so we're getting to the big stuff. All good stuff. Almost at the top now. Looks like he's going to do the top and then come down to where all those big branches are. Looks like what he's doing. Because obviously there's no big branches up there, and at some point he'll cut the trunk. That'll be a big piece, I suspect. Because there comes a point where he can't really climb any higher because it'll be too thin. Anyway, it's coming down. There's still this bulk here to do, but it's getting thinner and thinner. And already sitting at my computer table, looking out into the garden, it's already showing that there's a lot more light around. And I think that's going to do the orchids some good as well. It's just letting more light in the garden. So bonus all round. I said I'd make him a coffee, but I'm not taking it up there. I have to wait till he comes down. Well, the top's gone, so I presume he'll now be coming down in stages, cutting the pieces down as he comes till he gets to this big bit, and then that'll take some time. Oh, you can see the top just below his feet sticking out to the left there. That's what's left of the top of the tree. So, getting on with it. I'd still like to know how he's going to get down. All that. He's just piling up the branches as he takes them off. As you can see, they're just coming down, and wherever they land, that's where they go. Now he's got some really big branches to do out to the right hand side. So, and then I presume he'll go back up and take the trunk down. All good stuff. Well, just watching what he's doing, we are going to have some plants damaged. We just have to put up with it. I mean, he has apologised. He said if he'd been able to hire the chipper like he normally does, and he had a helper who was at the last minute sick, so he's had to come on his own, then all of this pile would already be cleared up, because as he dropped it down, his mate would have taken it round the front, straight in the chipper, job done. But because he's on his own, he's having to, you know, literally do it a bit at a time, and he's bundling up big branches into a bundle on the patio and then dragging them round, you know, 3 or 4 at a time. Some of them he's going to have to cut, I expect. So yeah, we are going to have a bit of damage. We will be, I'm sure we'll lose a few plants, but a lot of them are basically going to come up from below ground anyway, so hopefully, you know, the damage could be repaired as spring comes round. But, you know, it is what it is. We just have to put up with it. The tree had to go, and, you know, it's a confined space and it's difficult. So, you know, he's doing the best he can. Right, I've got one lot cleared away. Now he's tackling the stuff up here. Hope he doesn't drop big stuff next door. I mean, twigs and stuff don't matter that much, but don't want any of those great big long bits going next door. Still, whatever. At least it's out in the sunshine now. And it's mainly big stuff now rather than twigs. It's taken him a long time to clear all that lot round to the front on his own, but well, we shall see. It's coming down, slowly but surely. Doesn't half look funny with that long bit sticking up with no branches on it. Still, let him get on with it. Well, I'll apologise for no orchid video today, but with this noise it wouldn't be very pleasant anyway. The noise going along with filming the tree coming down is acceptable, so I've sort of just left it at that. I'll do the tree video and I'm going to post it on the gardening channel. Those that want to see it will have to pop across there. But yeah, I mean, it's with the chainsaw going and with him being right outside the grow room even when the chainsaw's not going, I wasn't too happy filming. So while he's up the tree with the chainsaw going, he doesn't know what I'm doing, so he doesn't know I'm filming. Some big bits coming off now. He cuts all the branches off them and then just takes them down in sections, and he goes nearly all the way through and then stops and sort of breaks it off by hand so that he can catch it so that it doesn't fall. See, just like that. And then that comes down on the decking and hopefully lands on all those branches and doesn't damage the decking. Well, that's a bit different. He's just catching them before they go next door. Oh, he's doing a grand job. And then they just come over the top down onto the pile of branches, which is now getting bigger and bigger again. So yeah, there's lots of little bits to come off, and then that branch will come down the same as the others, and then all that'll be left is the main trunk. Rather him than me, I think is the expression. Well, all the branches are off now, so I presume we're climbing up to wherever he thinks he can cut the top off. I hope the tree don't fall down now. The very tip top of it's already off, the very thin bit at the top. So this bit's just going to come down in chunks and just get dropped onto the huge pile of branches, so it shouldn't damage the decking or anything. Just imagine it's quite breezy up there now without any branches, but I mean, you can see the sun's out, got lovely blue sky out there, slightly hazy, but you know, imagine you can work in worse weather than that. I just wanted to try and film the top coming down, because once that's off there's no going back and filming it later. You either got to get it as he does it, or I can't do it. Oh, yappy dog started now, that's all we need. Oh, if that's the lady in the garden where he's dropped a few branches, I wonder if she's going to ask him to come round and clear up. He's just said hello, so she's probably coming down to thank him, because when her men were doing the hedge, she asked them to do the tree that was overhanging her side, and they wouldn't touch it because they said it, you know, it didn't belong to her. Although strictly speaking in this country, if it's hanging over your garden, then you can cut it off. Yeah, it's just going to come down in big sections like that. So I would imagine the sections in length will get shorter and shorter as it gets thicker and thicker, because they'll get heavier and heavier. Obviously he's having to adjust his rope every time, but yeah, last stage now. And another load of clearing up to do. He's just come down and gone back up with a much bigger chainsaw now, because obviously the trunk's getting thick. So again, it's just going to come off in sections. You can see it's a much bigger chainsaw than the previous one, and then that will go down on the pile of branches so that it doesn't damage the decking. So it's well organised. Of course, he has to keep stopping and fiddling and faffing with the ropes now as he comes down, stage at a time. But yeah, we're on to the thick bit, so we're on the last stage now. And the last few slices he'll be able to do standing on the decking. I've asked him to take it down to 6 inches above the decking with a nice flat top. And the idea will be we can stand a plant tub on it, so that people don't trip over it or anything. You know, it'll be obvious that something's there. And I certainly didn't want it taken down below the decking, because it would just leave a hole, you know, and people would trip over and stuff. Yeah, we're on to the real big stuff now. There's that big knot coming off where all the branches were together. So we're getting to heavy pieces coming off a bit at a time now. Still, almost done. And the next big slice coming off. He's going to come down what looks like a foot at a time. It's actually going to take him quite a time to actually get down that last bit. Obviously you can't have pieces that are too big, because they could do damage when they land. But yeah, he just cuts it off straight and then just drops it down on the pile of branches so that it doesn't land on the decking. And then just adjusts his ropes, goes down a stage and cuts another slice off. So shouldn't be long now. It's well on the way now. If you think I was having to do that earlier on to get the top of it, now we're down to there. So you're glad to see the back of it, I must admit. An awful lot of wood chipping going all over the place. There's an amount of it's going next door as well. I might have to just pop round and knock the door and see if she wants me to have a pick up some sticks and throw them over my fence. I mean, the fence has gone. That post immediately behind the trunk has actually broken off at the base, so the fence waggles around. But I'm hoping when the tree's out of the way I can fix a wire to that post across to the shed just to hold it in place, or do something with it anyway, because otherwise the wind will continuously waggle it around and it'll eventually fall apart. So to try and secure it somehow. We shall see. Right, see, then he lowers himself down a bit, adjusts his ropes and everything. When I was chatting to him earlier, he said when he was training he actually found out he's afraid of heights. That's a good time to find out, training to go up trees for a living and you're not too happy about going up heights. Still, I have to excuse my cough. I got a nasty cold at the moment and a sore throat and occasionally a hacking cough. Yeah, the slices are getting quite small now, so it's going to take him quite a while to get this last bit down. So, yeah, I think he's done a good job getting the tree down. I don't know how much of a good job he's going to do clearing it all up afterwards, but we'll have to wait and see. After he's gone, we'll have a look round and see how much he's left behind. But I'm just pleased to see it gone. Almost finished now. He's now that he's got his feet on the ground, he's actually cutting quite large sections. So he obviously knows how heavy they're going to be now that he's already lifted some. So he's coming off in quite big sections now. It's making hard work, that chainsaw, but it's doing the job. So nearly there now. He's just working on the last few sections now. That's the sort of sections that were coming down. That was my tree once. I'll be glad to see the back of that. It's just the last few bits coming down now. And when he's gone, I'll go out there and we'll have a look round with the camera and see what's left of the plants in the gravel beds. There's going to be some damage, but this is the important bit. The tree's gone. Right, let's go out and see what's what. He had a leaf blower, so he's done a bit of tidying up that I was going to have to do. Let's go and see what's what. There's some stuff over next door that he knows the people next door, so over the fence rather. So he's gone round to see them and then come down and pick up those bits. But as far as damage to the plants is concerned, I would say minimal. There's obviously a bit of trampling been going on there, but the ground cover plant's still there. The primroses, it's all still here. I mean, these were twiggy anyway, they'll shoot up. You know, they haven't been uprooted. Obviously this plant in this corner is quite damaged, but it's still got a basis to grow again. And that one over there was already gone. You can see it though. These come up from below ground. You can see what's going to come up. So although it's gone down, it's still there. So I think we've been lucky. I think we've been very lucky. And that's what's left. And that'll make a nice stand for a plant pot. So there we go. And I will... This fence post is broken. Now obviously that's subject to getting blown over in the wind. But inside the shed here, inside the corner here, is a good sturdy piece of timber. So I'm just going to put a hook in there and a hook in there and pull it tight with a piece of wire just to stop the wind blowing it about, and that should hold it in place. So good stuff. I'm going to have to do that. Flipping brambles going to be a nuisance because that's just going to get bigger and bigger. I might have to climb on the shed and deal with that. But yeah, he's tidied up and I'm well pleased. Tree's gone, not too much damage. As I say, there's a bit of trampling gone on, but you know, I think we got off lightly. And as I said, he even blew up the leaves, blew away the leaves on here. I've still got all that lot of leaves, you know, and Hannah, I've still got some leaves to clear up, but most of the leaves that were on this bit of gravel are now up in the hedge, which is where I would have raked them anyway. So, look how much light. And the other thing is, you can see the manor now. That big house over there with the great big chimneys, that's Burton Manor. Lovely place. So we can see all that now. You can actually see it better from in here because you're higher up. But, you can see it better from upstairs, but I'm not going up there. But yeah, that's the manor. It's a lovely building. It's actually divided up into flats, so there's lots of people live there, not just one. But you can see that a bit better. So it's not a nasty view that's been revealed, if you know what I mean. And somebody was saying about the privacy. Well, those houses over there are quite a long way away, and if I was sitting in the, in the decking area, the fences would be in the way, and they'd only be able to see in the garden from the upstairs windows. Those houses have always been there, nothing's changed there. So, pretty good stuff. And I've just seen branches disappearing that were sticking up over the fence, so he's obviously come round and cleared up next door as well. That's good stuff. A few bits went over the fence that way, but that's just like a bit of wasteland out there, so I don't care about that bit. Anyway, we get back to some sort of normality now, and yeah, got off lightly considering all the stuff that was thrown down from the tree. Oh, I'm really not well. I've got a nasty cold and a sore throat. So I'm just staying in and staying warm at the moment. Should only last a couple of days. I don't normally get this sort of thing very often, and when I do get it, it doesn't normally last long. So we shall see how it goes, and we'll do something on the orchid front tomorrow, as we've had a bit of a break, followed by a pause. We get back to normal tomorrow, perhaps. See you then. Bye for now.